What are you drinking there, Jesse?
Cool.
What are you drinking, Jesse?
I am sipping on some Don Julio.
This is going to be a fucked up show.
So you're
ethnic.
welcome.
Going to be a fight before the end of the show. I
I
guarantee
know.
that.
Already, I think we lost every girl that's been DMing Joel, don't you think?
Already?
On the last one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The episode dropped, so
Yeah.
we'll see what's...
Probably because of my Menendez boys impersonation, right?
And they're
That was
taking that
fucked
out
up.
on Joel?
What?
They're taking that out on Joel?
No, so they DM him, remember, for him to tell me something.
That she's doing wrong.
That was
or
wrong.
that she doesn't know. Yeah.
For example, Pora Hemplo, the Menendez bros were molested.
Yeah.
And I need to know that.
Yeah, and they'll send me like a bunch of links that I'm supposed to send to you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To prove it.
It'd be different if he actually sent it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I did, but you don't check your DMs. Or
You
anything.
did?
Yeah, that's what
No,
I was
you
gonna say
didn't.
is, why open your DMs?
Yeah.
You got better things to do.
For what?
Yeah.
I have life to live. I have life to live. And I'm good with the 8 listeners that we have. Do you know what I mean?
We're up to 8 now?
I know. I don't need any
We
more.
are fucking going straight to the moon on this show.
I don't need any more.
Best
Do you
show
know
on the
what
network.
I mean?
Are we on the network yet?
What? Not
we-
yet.
no.
Oh, yeah. Audio. Audio.
Okay, audio. Okay,
Audio.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if me and Jesse keep fucking the boss, we're going to get there at some point.
Right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
You keep not responding to those DMs. Okay?
Okay.
Don't pay them any mind.
What if they pay me?
Look, you know I say do whatever you have to do
Okay.
for the money. Guys, hi. Welcome to Jesse Wiseman's Crime Corner.
Authorities are desperately searching for a killer accused of going on a rampage.
The search for a possible serial killer.
An urgent manhunt for a man authorities believe is behind a triple killing spree.
Police here speculating that a possible serial killer may have struck again.
Told her to get out of the car, and that's when she became afraid, and then I shot her.
Two in a row.
Cheers. 2 in a row. We're getting there. 2 more and we're big time.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. We're back to our roots, show-wise, right? Last week we did somewhat of a heavy hitter, technically serial killer.
The
Right?
giggling granny.
The giggling granny,
Yeah.
right?
She's really only on the list of heavy hitters because there's so few female serial killers to choose from. So you
True.
got Nanny Doss, you got
And if it's your
the
family,
Morse killers, Ed and
as far as heavy hitters,
yeah, as far
that
as
we
heavy-
haven't done,
Yeah, like, well, in terms of female serial killers,
there's Warnos.
Really, Warnos, she's a big one out there. I'd say that she's number one when it comes to female serial killers.
yeah, most famous.
Then aside from that, you got Nanny Doss. Who was the second half of the Morse killers? It was Ed and I think it was Ed and somebody else.
Ed Sheeran?
Yeah, Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, it must have been Ed
and
Sheeran.
Lorena Bobbitt.
Yeah. Yeah, we just don't, there's not many black serial killers either, right?
True.
We just have other shit to do.
Or
Or
you're just
we don't
better
get
at getting
caught.
away with it.
Yep. We're not as gruesome with it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably other female serial killers that have fucking gotten away with it that
I
we
would
don't know
assume so,
about.
but it's hard to imagine a woman not being like really big and over the top and hysterical about something that they want to do.
Bungling something, right?
Yeah.
It's like she had 11. That's huge.
That's a good count.
But I think we said too, the years that she was operating, very easy to get away with stuff.
Very easy to get insurance claims too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can just take them out on anyone.
Willy-nil.
Back in the good old days, you could take insurance claims out on people that you didn't even know.
Like we said, the good old
Businesses could take out insurance claims, like life insurance claims, on their employees. So if one of their employees died, they get a
They get
payout for
money?
some reason.
What the fuck? So when I was putting the little photos and stuff on the show,
days. Yeah.
when she was younger, she was kind of hot.
Really?
Yeah. Like
Was she? I
there's
couldn't picture
There's
that.
one photo of her I found. It's like her with her first kid. And it's all, it's old looking, but I was like, oh, okay.
Really?
If she was smoking darts, and fucking drinking
oh,
whiskey, I'd be
drinking
like, let's
straight
go.
whiskey and ready to fucking
And look like that? Okay.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. But most
Giggling.
of her photos is when she's older,
Giggling, flirting, drinking whiskey,
You're
smoking
going to have
darts.
to show me that picture after the show. 'Cause
I know, I
I still
don't-
can't see it.
He maybe picked like some.
I mean, she's got a stronger jawline than I do.
Yeah, she's always been a
Oh, when you see that picture and then you see her when she got older, I'm like, oh, man.
she's
At some
always,
point, she fell off.
Yeah.
At some point, it got her, that drinking and smoking.
Has to, dude. Hasn't gotten us yet, though, right?
Hell no.
Whoa, looking good.
Tequila.
Keep telling myself that.
Yeah, so back to our roots because this is one of our classiques. It's where we make our, our bones. A husband,
Okay, of course.
always, right? A husband, one time, that was just maybe the only way out. Although this is another thing that we like to do. Not sure. There is a verdict, but we can debate,
Oh.
right?
I think by the end of the episode, there is going to be a little bit of a debate as we, kind of
I think so.
chew on the information for a little
Yeah,
while.
you're a contrarian, right?
I learned it from Joel.
So true.
Uh-uh.
No, you didn't. I've never done that.
I'm not that.
So yeah, this is a classic. Did he? Didn't he? Did she deserve it? No, I'm just kidding. What?
Yeah, that part's still up in the air. That's the part that I wanted to talk about, is whether or
Right.
not she had it coming.
Right. Bad luck, or just needed to get out of a sticky situation.
Just stop nagging so much.
Right.
Just
The
let the man
only
work.
option is for me to kill you. That's it. That's
Always.
it. Always.
That's
You can't just walk away.
Pro tip, guys. Divorce, the lawyers, you know what I mean? They take you for a ride. It lasts forever. Easier just to fucking kill him.
it's all a
Anti-free.
scam.
She's a little anti-free.
All right, so this is the case of Heidi Firkus. Heidi and Nick Firkus. On April 25th, 2010, St. Paul, Minnesota. Oh, we should have had Jack
good
on
old
for this one,
Minnesota.
huh? We should have. He would have loved to just do that accent the whole time. St. Paul, Minnesota, 911 dispatch received a frantic phone call from 25-year-old Heidi Firkus. The panicked woman reported that someone was trying to break into the home she shared with her husband, 27-year-old Nick Firkus. The following is the recording of the call. So let's go into this. This one's not that long, so.
911 call.
Starting date, Sunday, April 25, 2010, at 6 hours, 32 minutes, and 12 seconds a.m.
She sounds weird, huh?
Yeah.
Patrol 911.
Someone's trying to break into my home.
What city are you in, St. Paul?
I'm in St. Paul.
Hang on just a second. What address are you at?
1794.
1794 what? 911, what's your emergency? State with
1794. Minnehaha Avenue.
Minnehaha, someone's trying west? Somebody's trying to break in our house.
Did you hear that?
It's so quiet.
I know.
You went there, 651-494-4876.
Joel, did you hear anything strange about that
Like a
911
little
call?
scream in the background.
So
or
what
something?
you heard was her screaming and a gunshot, and then the phone went
Oh, I
dead.
didn't hear the gunshot part, but I heard a scream.
It's really, really quiet.
Because guns are quiet in real life.
Yeah, surprisingly. That's the reason I don't have tinnitus.
1794.
1794 what? 911, what's your emergency? State with
1794. Minnehaha Avenue.
Minnehaha, someone's trying west? Somebody's trying to break in our house.
Whoa.
Okay, what phone number?
So it's
That's kind of
gunshot.
wild.
Yeah,
Surprisingly
and then it's
quiet.
gone. As you heard before, the call could be completed. A gunshot could be heard, followed by a pained scream from Heidi. Then the line went dead. Roughly 65 seconds after that call from Heidi, a second call was made to 911, this time by her husband, Nick. Hysterical and in pain, Nick attempted to tell police what had happened.
Oh, shit.
So now we'll listen to Nikki's, good old Nikki's call.
Starting date, Sunday, April 25, 2010, at 6 hours 33 minutes and
This is early in the morning,
47
too.
a.m.
This is not nighttime.
State Patrol 911. Okay, are you in St. Paul, sir? Okay, let me get you right in there. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, they'll be right with you. Hold on one second with me. 911. Okay, now this is the one on in St. Paul. Go ahead, sir. No, sir. No. Hello? No. Can you tell me where you are? Where up? Take a deep breath. I'm on 1794 Minnehaha. Are you east or
fuck?
west? West. You're in west? West. Are you in a house or an apartment? What's the problem?
What's the problem, dog?
Why are you being such a baby?
Okay, stay on the phone with me, okay? Okay. What's your name?
Dispatch is on pills for sure.
It's always so...
Stay on the phone with me. Who shot you?
Sometimes you get a good one, and sometimes it's just like...
Okay, stay on the phone with me, okay? Do not hang up. Nick, are you still with me?
Jesus.
Where is the guy that shot you? Fire and medical. Hi, this is police. We're going to need your assistance on a burglary at 1794 Minnehaha Avenue West in St. Paul. I have a shooting victim. I do not have any other information yet. Nick?
Did he say his wife is shot too?
Yeah, that was the first thing that he says as soon as or close to when the call starts. Is he said somebody broke into the house and shot me and my wife.
Okay, do you remember what he was wearing? Do you remember what he was wearing? No, like a hooded sweatshirt. A hooded sweatshirt? I don't know. Okay, listen to me. We've got help coming, okay? Medics, go ahead for a minute. Tell me where on your body you're shot. I'm shot on my side, my leg.
Your leg?
Is there more than one wound? Are you the only one that's injured? No, medics, hold on a second. Nick.
I know what side Jesse's on now. The leg.
Your leg or your fucking... Please, dude.
Listen to me. Do you have a weapon yourself? Yes. Okay, where is your weapon at? It's laying in the front. It's laying in the front. It's not in your hand? No. Did you fire back? What? Did you fire back? No, I did not. Okay, go ahead, Matt. Okay, sir.
You fired all of them.
Fired into a back.
Prepping.
Jesus.
Dude, we get it.
Nick, are you just playing video games?
Nick.
I've got officers coming. Just stay with me, okay? Stay with me.
What's funny? What is he laughing about?
It's just the comedy of life.
In the leg.
Jesus, Jesse.
I mean, I'd hate to hear if he was shot anywhere else, huh?
Did an owl do this one too, Jesse?
You've been hanging out with your wife too much. A fucking owl did the last one. And on and
pretty
on
sure,
like
yeah,
that.
he-
And
he
on and
just
on like
goes
that.
on for a
It
while
goes
after
on and
that,
on
yeah.
like that. Yeah. So,
That was fucked up.
So police raced to the Firkus residence, arriving while Nick was still on the phone with 911 and crying like a baby. The front door of the residence was slightly ajar, and police noted that they could still smell gunpowder in the air. Upon searching the residence, they found Heidi laying on her back in the kitchen with her feet pointed towards the door. Nick was on the ground beside her, sobbing uncontrollably, as we just heard. He had a single gunshot wound in his upper left leg. Heidi was sadly already deceased. The murder weapon, a break-action double-barrel shotgun, was discovered on the floor in an adjoining room.
Sick. Sawed off?
No, not sawn off. Dude, listen to the way that he cried. Do you think he's going to have a
Yeah.
sawed-off shotgun in his house?
Good point.
yeah.
Nick was taken to the local hospital where he was treated for a minor wound to his leg and released 3 hours later. Sadly, Heidi was pronounced dead at the scene. Later that morning, police brought Nick in for questioning. Have you seen pictures of the wound? The leg wound?
No.
So they mimic the way that the gun was being held when he got the leg wound, because when he got shot in the leg, it was while he was struggling with the intruder.
Right.
And he showed with his crutch the way that the
That's
shotgun
in
was
the-
being held.
Yeah.
I've never seen. I was really surprised that the wound does look a little gruesome. I've only seen the picture where it's already packed with gauze.
Mm-hmm.
But a 12-gauge shotgun that close, pressed up against your leg, I thought that it would have taken half of his leg off, but it just took a good chunk of meat out of there.
Right. So what Coop is talking about is Nick's account of what happened. So he's talking to the police. He's still in hospital, kind of looking garb.
Did you just say in hospital?
In hospital, like...
Have you been spending a lot of time like hanging out with British people or watching British television?
I said he's in hospital, like garb.
Oh, I thought you were saying in hospital.
Oh, so
Like,
he
that's
was
the way that-
in hospital.
Yeah, that's what I
No.
thought that's what you were saying.
No, we're in
Fucking drives me
we're in
crazy.
Minnesota.
That and maths.
We're in Minnesota. So, nothing like that. But I think
So he was in the hospital,
he
you
was in
hoser.
kind of scrubs looking things, wasn't he?
From
It looked like he literally looked like he just came from the hospital.
I don't think it was full blown like a hospital gown, but he did go straight from the hospital
Yes.
to be interrogated by the cops.
On crutches still, and sat and talked to the first detective on the case. So, according to Nick, around 6:30 a.m. That Sunday morning, he had gotten up to get a glass of water. After returning to bed, he began to fall back asleep when he was startled by the sound of someone forcing their way into the house. He said jiggling the door.
Yeah, you heard somebody jiggling the door handle.
Because it was locked.
Yeah.
The bolt wasn't thrown, but the knob was locked. So he heard somebody jiggling the door. He, Nick grabbed his shotgun and, well, first he told Heidi to go to call 911 and see what was happening.
He was like, Heidi, there's someone at the door. Grabbed his gun,
I mean,
shot her in the
honestly,
back, and then shot himself in the leg because he was scared.
Call 911.
Use your intuition and really think about how you feel when you hear this story. Okay?
Okay.
You call 25-year-old tiny little Heidi. You go and check it out and call 911. I'm going to go load my shotgun. I'll be right there. So she's... Why you wouldn't... Even if I hear any noise, Ross is like, stay here. Stay here. I'm going to go Like, don't leave. You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah,
leave the
lock the
room.
door
I'm going to
behind me.
go figure it out. And that's Ross. So, do you know what I'm saying? The bar is low. So she's on the phone. She's like walking down the stairs ahead of him.
Jesus.
She's on the phone calling. He's got the shotgun. He said then she moved behind him. He went to the door. And they forced their way through the front door where they were confronted by Nick. So he's right at the door. He has the shotgun. The home invader lunged at Nick and attempted to, so he's pointing the gun at him, which, like you said, Coop, he's showing the detective with his crutch. And he's saying that the intruder grabbed his shotgun and they're struggling with it. And in the struggle, the gun went off one time, shot Heidi, and they're still struggling. It went off again and hit her.
Twice.
Oh, no. That one hit his leg?
The second one hit his leg. There were only 2 rounds.
So they're saying it went off, shot her, perfect shot, night. And then the second one right in his leg.
When you, I think maybe we should put some, there's video of the police walking through the residence, like while the body's still on the ground, and you're able to see where the front door is in relation to the stairs.
It's a very tiny area.
Very tiny, and also the shotgun would have to make a complete 180 to do what Nick said it did. And
in the 911 call, I know you can't really hear that much, but I didn't hear a heightened anything in her voice that she was like watching a struggle, right? She was saying someone is trying to break into my house, right? Trying to.
Seemed scared, but not frantic in the way that you would be if
just
you were
calling
watching your
to
husband
be like,
fight for
someone's,
his life
I
against
think
a
someone's
stranger.
trying. I think she said, I think someone's trying to break into our house. She just needs like someone there. She doesn't know what's going on in her call, right?
Right.
Had she been watching somebody struggle and then getting shot, I think it would have sounded a little different, but I don't know where, if she was like in the other room and then walked in, whatever, not sure.
Okay.
So the second shot strikes Nick in the leg, and during this interview in the interrogation, he was unsure whether it was him or the assailant that pulled the trigger. But he was holding it, so they would have to, like, I don't know, hard to kind of picture. With
and
Nick,
that's specifically for the second shot that he was pointing out, that he didn't know whether it was him or the assailant that fired it.
With Nick subdued and the weapon now empty, the culprit tossed it to the floor and fled the scene.
And I want to reiterate that this is a break-action double-barrel shotgun. According to his story, the reason that the guy split, they fired both rounds in the shotgun, and then he was just done and left. Right. Now that the gun is completely unloaded, you would think the situation would be a little bit easier for him. One of them's dead. The other person has been shot in the leg.
There's only 2.
He kind of has free run of the house. I mean, Heidi's dead. Nick's been shot in the leg.
Right.
That's time to
if
go
we
and do
go
whatever
with
it was that you came for.
If we go with the story, someone was trying to break in and maybe steal some stuff and was not
wasn't planning for gunshots.
To kill anybody and freaked out and left. That could also be, right?
Yeah, we'll find out later. I think he was in there looking for the One Ring. Did you see the police sketch?
He's tiny?
Dude, you got to see the police sketch. The police sketch is fucking out of control.
Yeah. You'll put it up, I'm sure.
Before the murder, Nick and Heidi had been a happy Midwestern couple who had met in church in their early 20s. Oh, that's where I like to pick up girls, too. Nick worked for his family's upholstery cleaning business, scrubbing various stains out of various fabrics. Heidi worked for a financial services company called Securian, most likely turning big numbers into little numbers and little numbers into big numbers. The couple had purchased their home on West Minnehaha. Did you have me read this specifically because it's the only paragraph that says Minnehaha?
Minnehaha, yeah.
Is it a goofy ass fucking street?
Yeah. Yeah, Minnehaha.
The couple had purchased their home on West Minnehaha Street in 2007 and settled in to live happily ever after. Up until the whole murder part.
Sure.
And the guy was Minnie also. Haha.
Oh, Joel.
Yeah, nailed it.
You should go on Kill Tony. The ensuing investigation was unable to uncover any conclusive evidence that could lead them to the killer or killers. Nick was unable to give a description of the person who shot his wife, and you can really tell by the fucking sketch. I laughed so hard when I saw the sketch for the first time. Or even conclusively say how many intruders there had been. He did, however, help police create a sketch of the intruder that looks like he sells drugs to David the Gnome.
So after that, he had talked to the police like 3 times, kind of the same way as the first interrogation, just... it didn't seem like they were looking at him as a suspect. So it was really just trying to get details, talk to him 3 times. After that, he was like, I think I need a lawyer. Smart. So he got a lawyer, and the person that did the sketch even was an independent sketch artist, because the lawyers didn't even want him like using the police sketch artist because they thought that they would use that time to kind of interrogate him again. So after that, he was done.
I wonder if he's one of those caricature artists that hangs out around like Man's Chinese Theater and shit, because
that's how it looked.
Yeah.
So police dug into Nick and Heidi's personal lives, hoping to uncover anything that might give them a suspect or a motive. By all accounts, the Firkuses were a normal, happy, law-abiding, God-fearing Midwestern couple. Nick didn't even have any mistresses urging him to run away with them, and Heidi wasn't secretly running a drug ring selling steroids to kids at the Special Olympics. They were a perfectly normal couple. The worst thing the police uncovered was that they were behind on some bills. Really behind on some bills. like real behind.
Like somebody needs to start listening to the Dave Ramsey podcast, Behind on Bills.
Yeah. Also, there wasn't even like an insurance policy. So like, it wasn't like he was, you know what I mean? Even if they did have money troubles, that wasn't going, like,
he
her
wasn't
death,
as smart as the giggling grandma.
Right. Like, her death wasn't helping him out in any way.
So when you sent the case over and I started reading through it, the first thing that I thought was, oh, it's got to be an insurance claim. That's a very obvious reason to. He fucking should have. Kill your spouse.
By the way, if you're going to go through all of that.
Especially when you're in dire straits financially.
Yes.
Like, it's just flat out dumb to not have a life insurance policy if you're going to kill your spouse. I mean, just.
Well, maybe if he did do it, I think he's innocent. But if he did do it, maybe he just felt bad for how stressed she was and put her down for her.
Could be, because.
Like she was an old, worn-out horse.
So she was just time so to go. Out. Yeah. And it was like driving her crazy. So he was like, I think the best thing to do is to shoot her in the back.
Yeah, and he couldn't fix it money-wise.
Yeah, he knew he couldn't do it.
So it's like.
He didn't want her to suffer.
Bye.
It's the code of the West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Like putting down a horse with a broken leg.
Yes. This is it.
If only it was that easy.
So like true. The scene from Legends of the Fall when the cow is stuck in the barbed wire and Brad Pitt starts crying. I think it was like that.
Dude, I still have a hard time believing. Isn't that one of your favorite movies?
I just watched it last night.
Again?
It's so good. What are you talking about?
I'm not saying
it's
2 nights
ago, actually. I did.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
Oh, okay.
At all. I'm just saying the first time that Joel told me that was his favorite film.
One of my favorites.
Okay.
One of his favorites.
Not in the top 10.
During the.
Sure.
Really? Oh, this was a long time ago. And
a lot of movies have
I'm
come
sure
out
it's
since
pretty
then.
hazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was shocked.
I cried like 3 times just the other night when I watched it too.
You've watched that multiple times and you still haven't seen Tremors.
No, I've never seen Tremors.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah.
It's leaving Netflix, by the way, guys. If you want to see Legends of the Fall, it's leaving Netflix in the next week or 2. That's why I watched it.
My algorithm would not even pick it up. Yeah.
God bless you for giving that Brad Pitt movie the old Crime Corner bump.
I know he needs. Yeah, he needs
He's
a
so
break.
Handsome, Brad Pitt.
He needs a break. That guy.
Yeah, he's at the tail end of his career, struggling to find work.
Hey, you know what? There's a cool connection in that movie when his brother gets killed in the war. He goes and scalps a bunch of Nazis.
Sure.
And then 1,000 years later, he's in, a movie with Quentin Tarantino scalping Nazis again. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh.
Just saying.
All right, I'm at least 90% sure that your timelines are slightly off.
I think he was Russians in the.
I don't think that the Nazis were around during the expansion west.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it was
when that movie.
They were
was
Nazis
set.
to me.
Sure.
Either way, he was scalping Nazis.
They're all just bad
twice.
guys. Did they give all the Native Americans German accents in the movie also?
Scalp any Native Americans.
I'm just saying. Usually, around that time period, you would give all the bad guys.
I think
German
I would go
accents.
Dances with Wolves over that.
No, it's not as good.
Yeah.
Great movie though.
I've seen Dances with Wolves more times.
Yeah. It's so good.
Wait, are you talking about actual Dances with Wolves, or are you talking about Avatar?
Same movie.
Okay,
Is
because I haven't seen the Kevin Costner one.
Tatanka.
Is that a Na'vi word?
Yeah.
Joel, you should know. You worked on
Na'vi.
One of the movies.
It's Na'vi for Buffalo.
Oh, I didn't even know they had buffalo in there.
This is dumb. Cut that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nick and Heidi had purchased their home in 2007 for $215,000. Imagine that, $215,000 for a house in Minneapolis, Minnesota, or St. Paul, Minnesota in 2007.
They're probably cheaper now.
Right before the good times, right?
Yeah, right before the bubble popped. The last time they had made a payment on either one of their mortgages, so they took out 2 mortgages to get this house. The last time they had made a payment on either one of their mortgages was in September of 2008, nearly 2 years before Heidi's death. In fact, their home had been auctioned off by the bank in June of 2009. The couple were due to be evicted the day after the attack on Monday, April 26th.
Damn. 2008, huh?
What do you think, Joel?
That made me just realize when that was going on, Jesse, we were getting shit-faced on Jim Beam on the pier in Ventura.
In 2008?
You could say that about a whole lot of different years, though.
Yeah. That could be 2009, 2010.
11,
yeah.
12.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say realistically anything between
Last
1986 and now.
Yeah. If we ever were in Ventura all together again. According to Heidi's family and friends, she didn't say anything, and even in the interrogation, he goes, nobody knew, right? Our family, we were embarrassed. Nobody knew about it.
He specifically says to the cop that's interrogating him, he's like, the only people that know about this are me and you. Or something along the lines of, you're the first person that I've told.
Yes. But, and to get to the point of auctioning off and eviction, I think someone, a mom, they're very close with their family and friends, be really weird for someone not to know.
So how the hell do you hide that for so long that it gets to the point that the bank actually auctions off your house? And where's all the goddamn money going? What is this guy spending his money on in St. Paul, Minnesota back in 2007?
Yeah.
That's so goddamn expensive.
I don't know. But
it's not like it's a single income household. Him and his wife were both working.
Hookers and cocaine.
And apparently he came from a pretty wealthy family, or, business
owning. At the very least, they were upper middle class. Yeah. And later on in the story, we'll find out they had enough money to buy a house.
Right.
In terms of his family or his parents. Looking at police footage of the Firkus home, one might notice that it doesn't look like the home of someone who was being evicted the following day. Nothing had been packed, and no plans for the new living accommodations had been made. That's because Nick had been keeping all of this secret, even from Heidi, who had been under the impression that they were financially stable. Heidi had even been telling her friends that they were considering selling the house and using the profit to move and upgrade to a nicer home.
Oh, no.
All the while, Nick was desperately trying to figure out how to get out of debt without Heidi finding out.
But was he desperately trying to he didn't make a payment for 2 years. He was doing, spending all his time doing.
Got real desperate towards the end, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, I would say. But what he was doing, I don't know if you guys have ever gotten, bill collectors, debt collectors. They call constantly. If you have a landline, they're calling. If your wife is on the deed in any way, they're calling. Like, you're getting letters. So his full-time job was intercepting all of these correspondence, right? Because how did she not accidentally get one letter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing that she didn't catch wind of any of this.
Someone had to have come to the house, or I don't know.
How many phone calls
That's
can you
impressive.
explain away saying like, oh, it was a wrong call? So he's hiding bill collectors that call him. How many times can you say it's a wrong number before she just assumes that you're having an affair?
Exactly. Or
Like,
don't worry about that. You're like, okay. They're also pretty young too. So if she's just like, all right, you know what I mean? Do I even know how that shit works now? You know? Where you're just like, oh, okay, I guess you're figuring it out. I don't know. But yeah. So financial struggles and shitty communication aren't grounds for a murder conviction.
Unfortunately.
So, I know. So Nick was let go after a few hours of questioning. Nick returned to his job at his family's upholstery business, and Heidi's body was released to her family so they could hold a funeral. With no further leads, the case quickly went cold. It would be another 13 years before the killer was brought to justice. Over the following years, investigators revisited Heidi's case in hopes of finding a solid lead. Nick was their only witness, so his story was scrutinized over and over. The financial struggles and secrecy had already raised suspicions, leading detectives to go over his testimony with a fine-tooth comb. Eventually, holes began to appear in his story, and I think there were like 4 different lead detectives that had like turned over. The detectives had left or gotten promoted or whatever, so every time a new detective got assigned the case, they would put back out the sketch, they would do interviews on, do media, whatever, and then no leads would come in, and it would just kind of...
How could anybody look at that sketch and think that it's a real fucking person?
But they found that person. Did you see that?
Where? They found somebody that looks like that?
Yes.
What is the sketch? God damn.
I guess you're gonna find out when
you start it.
Well, once the episode's over, I'll show you a picture. Dude, it's insane. Nobody fucking looks like that. It's like a Muslim hobbit.
Yeah. So every time a new detective came on the case, I'm gonna find it right now. Every time a new detective came on the case, they would revisit it again with fresh eyes, and every time they were kind of every new person kind of was inching closer and closer to him being the person, but they didn't have any evidence or anything to charge him, so they were just hoping that something...
It was a rare situation where actually maybe it's not that rare, but all leads and all destinations, it all started and ended with Nick. There was nowhere else to go aside from that.
They tried.
When they went through and investigated the house after the murder, no signs of a break-in, no DNA evidence. The only evidence of
someone else being there.
The only evidence of the attack is a bunch of shotgun pellets stuck in the bottom left-hand corner of the front door on the inside.
Okay, can you see that?
Oh shit!
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, that picture is fuck.
Whoa.
It's fucked.
Yeah. But we will get into them actually finding that person.
Oh my God.
So Nick had claimed that it was the sound of the doorknob jiggling that had initially alerted him to the intruders. Considering the location of the master bedroom, the sound had to have been exceptionally loud. Police decided to put that to the test among other tests that they did at the house over the course of 13 years.
Oh, test if you could hear the
the
doorknob from the
one
bedroom?
Of them is in the master, and then at the front they're like jiggling, doing whatever with the door, and they couldn't hear anything.
They recorded a video of them going back to the house, and this is after, the house was already sold at auction. Nick moved out, new families moved in.
Yeah, so they can't get any evidence, but they can do tests like this. They can look at the size of the space. They can look at where someone's, where they would be walking down the stairs, where the struggle
Yeah, and like try and
be.
reenact the situation and see how it would go. And I really appreciated the fact that when they did the test to see if you could actually hear the doorknob jiggling from the master bedroom, they went back there at 6:15 in the morning because somebody understood that when the air is colder, sound travels in a different way. So I just had some respect for that.
Wow. Wow.
And they still couldn't hear it?
Couldn't hear anything.
Interesting.
There's a video of that also. I'll go through and I'll send you the links that I found to all the videos of the investigation. While the police continued to look for the person responsible for Heidi's death, Nick jumped back into the dating pool very, very quickly. Not as quick as Danny Doss, because holy shit, I don't think anybody goes through relationships as fast as she does.
Yeah. He was about 3 months.
3 months. That's still
How long were they together?
A while.
Yeah.
Damn.
So they.
Since she was like 22.
I wasn't able to find the exact date that they had met, but they got their first house together in 2007, and one of the things that I read is that they had already been together for like 4 years at that point. So they're going on at least like 7 years total.
Okay.
At that age,
but I mean,
that's a lot.
Yeah. So you're like only long relationship.
So you're a good church-going Midwestern couple.
Sure.
Been together for 7 years. Your wife dies, and within 3 months you start dating again?
Yes. And so
seems a little
up until that
suspicious.
point, the families, again, really close friends and everything, were like totally on his side, right? Even her family were just like, I can't, I can't believe this happened to you. When he started dating someone 3 months after, they're all
like, what the fuck?
Yeah. They kind of were just like, what? And he looked, he seemed so happy and he was moving on, and it was just like cut all ties and that was it, which you would do, but maybe not 3 months after.
3 months after your wife gets married, especially after
they're still looking for the person, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and you've been with your wife for that long. I would assume that you would have some, unless her family is like nothing but massive pieces of shit. I would assume that you have some sort of relationship with her family.
Yes.
To cut them off and just move on after 3 months, little suspect.
Yeah.
Nick jumped back into the dating pool looking for a replacement wife, and he found love once again. And in 2012, he married Rachel Watson. The two had quickly bonded over their recent traumas. Rachel had escaped an abusive relationship, and Nick had lost his wife in a violent home invasion.
Rachel.
It was obviously a match made in heaven. Rachel's a very, very pretty lady, too. I have no idea.
Nick? Not so much.
Oof, yeah.
So it was an upgrade for him? Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, he was batting way out of his league.
With both, I think.
Actually, yeah, with both.
Yeah, because Heidi's like very cute.
Yeah, and even from what did he have going for him?
I think it was, his parents were very successful.
Must have been lying about family money.
The church thing, because Rachel was church too.
See, if they hadn't started off in church, I would say big dick. But they started off in church, so it's probably moved a little bit slower than that.
If it was like one of those like fun kind of like a Justin Bieber church or something, you've got a lot more to choose from.
If they met in Kanye West church.
Yeah, but like these churches, it's slim pickings, huh? I guess.
He honestly probably took the only attractive church-going women in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Got both of them.
Yeah.
So, good for him, I guess.
Sure.
The couple would go on to have 3 children and live in a lovely house that Nick's family bought for him. His
great
family's making good enough money that they could flat out buy it for him, but he was hiding some of those things from her. I was
about to ask, does she know that they bought it? Or did he pretend he bought it?
I don't think that Rachel knew that his family bought the house.
Sure.
They were supposed to be paying the mortgage, obviously, but her reaction later. Did you listen to the recording that Rachel
made? Yeah.
I think that she wasn't aware of a whole lot of the stuff that was going on. I think she was pretty much in the same position that Heidi was in.
So he's doing the same shit again.
Doing the same thing again.
All the way to the end? Is she going to die?
Well, we're going to find out.
Rachel.
Joel.
Rachel
Classic
did.
Joel.
Rachel did have a smile that could light up a room.
Die? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but Nick was allergic to paying bills. He just really did not like doing it.
I want to know so much more about Nick, because I feel like him and I could bro down about some things, about just being a piece of shit that doesn't want to do anything or pay any bills.
If you could get him to open up, he could just be like, dude, I just
But he's just so, he's so shut down and so enclosed that he kills people.
Sure.
Allegedly.
Oh, no.
So the couple would go on to have 3 children and live in a lovely house that Nick's family bought for them. And there they would have lived out their lives in peace if it weren't for Nick's bad habit of not paying his fucking bills.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Rachel eventually began to find letters, the kind of letters Nick had put a lot of effort into hiding in his previous marriage. Once again, he had been failing to pay the mortgage or property tax on his home. And you would think that he would have learned his lesson the first time around. I mean, that was a pretty drastic conclusion to the first time that he failed to pay his fucking mortgage and his property tax.
I promise. If you just let me get out of this, and he did, I won't do it again, right?
Well, he got away with it, right? So he's like, oh, I could do it again.
Then as soon as he got away, it was like, oh, fuck you, God.
He's like,
I'm going to go do my own thing. Hey, been there.
Been there.
Rachel began to grow suspicious of Nick. If he was lying about the mortgage, he could be lying about other things, like what happened to his ex-wife. Not wanting to end up being murdered by the wild-eyed gnome that killed Heidi, which I still fucking refuse to believe exists. There is nobody that looks like that. And I am so excited to see somebody that fucking looks like that.
Yes, I'll show you.
Rachel wised up, packed up the kids, and left.
Oh, shit.
Yes, around the time that Rachel left Nick, police once again relaunched their investigation into Heidi's death. The new detective, a woman, she's gonna fucking get this motherfucker, right?
Okay, yeah.
Sorry. Like,
agreed.
There's some things we're good for.
What is this, a movie?
Which is fucking over dudes, right? And
okay, agreed.
They will not bungle that shit. Once again, they relaunched the investigation into Heidi's death. They began to question more aspects of his story, such as the fact that although Nick was the one carrying the shotgun, it was Heidi who went down the stairs first. We don't like that, right?
That's naughty.
We do not like that. Most people in that situation would put the person with the weapon in front.
It's poor weapon control. Like, you don't want...
You all line up.
So here's the thing, that one of the big reasons that when you join the military, they teach you how to march in formation. One of the things that you learn is you don't walk in front of the formation. You always go behind the formation. That's because you want all the guns pointing in one direction.
Exactly.
And you don't want anybody getting in the line of fire. And you also don't put the unarmed person out front.
And you're like tiny 25-year-old wife.
She's not even going to stop any bullets. Like if it was Chris Farley or something, it's like, okay,
go on down.
Lay the barrel on his shoulder, use it as a rest, and he'll absorb a few rounds. But
he
yeah,
all
Heidi
but did
tiny.
That, right? He was like, go ahead, go check it out, and let me know.
Look.
Let me know if I need to go down there. So that didn't sit right with them, as it did not with us. Most people would be putting the person with the weapon in front, but Nick had chosen to hide behind his petite young wife. Instead of celebrating Nick for being a champion of women's equality, they found this detail suspicious, right? Heidi's phone call gave police more ammunition to use against Nick. According to his story, he was struggling with the intruder while Heidi was on the phone with the 911 operator. Listening back to the recording, there was no struggle happening right next to her as she spoke with the operator, like I said. In fact, she sounded strangely calm for someone watching their husband fight for his life right in front of them. Had Nick been fighting with an attacker, it would have been heard on the recording, and Heidi would have likely been more hysterical.
I'm sure that everybody here can attest to this. If you ever see a husband or a boyfriend in a fight with somebody else,
Start masturbating.
The wife or the girlfriend is always there going like, yeah, fuck him up. Fuck him up. She never said that.
Or something.
Yeah. Or
something.
she's the one that started the fight in the first place.
Sure, and then step back and let you take care of it, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Nick was now caught in a two-pronged attack by the police and his now estranged wife, Rachel. Rachel couldn't stop wondering what else Nick had been lying to her about. So Rachel set up her own sting operation and secretly recorded a conversation between the two of them. Is that from Batman? Yeah. Okay, I thought so. In the conversation, Rachel flat out asked, do you think we should just pull up the recording? There's a real short one.
Yeah. Let me pull that up, and then
I found it in the middle of somebody else's video, so I wasn't able to send a link for it, but I'm sure it's there somewhere. But she was very open about what it was that she was trying to figure out. She laid out the fact that, okay, you've been lying to me about all of this shit, and that's made me call other things into question. And he's like, well, what else are you questioning? She's like, Heidi.
Everything? Yeah.
Which, realistically, yeah, so it's a combination of little things where she was finding the letters that proved that they hadn't been paying their property tax or their mortgage. And then she started finding receipts laying around in different places, and she would ask him about the receipts for little things. She would ask him about the receipts, whether or not he had bought this, and be like, oh no, that must be a mistake. I don't know where that came from. So even like small purchases he was lying about.
Yeah, like the toilet paper he's using. So I didn't buy that.
No, I didn't buy that. I don't wipe my ass. So if he's willing to lying about small things all the way up to big things, like the fact that you could possibly be evicted because you're not putting the money from the joint account into the mortgage and into the property tax, it's probably going to go beyond that he's willing to lie about much bigger things.
We don't know what he's spending all the fucking money on.
That's what I want to fucking know. Where is all of the goddamn money going? Or his family is just paying him like 2010 minimum wage while he's working at the family business. Because my assumption was that he was into gambling or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I can't, if he doesn't have a drug problem, no drug problem, no drinking problem, like what does a church-going person spend their money on outside of gambling?
Hookers and cocaine.
I mean, okay, true.
But all right, now you guys actually don't know where all the money went?
No, this is the conclusion of this case is recent enough that there's not a whole lot of background information or investigative reports that have been done on it. So at this point, nobody knows. Well, I mean, some people know what he's been spending his money on, but it's not public knowledge.
Okay.
But what the hell does somebody who is so straight-laced, what do they spend their money on? He doesn't have a drug problem, doesn't have a gambling problem. Is he collecting like PopCap toys, like the vinyl figurines or something?
Here, you find it on your phone, and then I am pulling up. So someone called in, a tip came in to, I think, the second to last detective about the sketch. And this lady is like, I know who that person is.
Oh, shit.
And it was Mike. Where is it? Sorry. Da-da-da-da. No dead air and a da-da-da-da. No dead air.
On their phone.
Do-do-do-do. We won't have a dead air. It had...
So
it was on here.
So you can tell that Jesse has been doing this for so much longer than us.
We can't have any dead air, and we will not have hoo-da-hoo. Or what's the hold music?
Oh my God, you're gonna give me flashbacks. Sitting on the phone, just waiting to get my goddamn prescription refilled. Holy shit, I hate that song. You ever thought about the people that write those songs? Do they write it specifically for that purpose, or is it just
they get rich off of it?
Yeah, they found
I mean, it must be enough.
They found the dude that did. He did not get rich off of it.
That did that song?
It's called like Opus 1 or something. Come on, motherfucker! God damn it!
All right, Jesse, I know where it is.
That important?
I just got to find it.
It is because we're talking about this sketch so much that now I need to.
Well, hang on. Are we looking for the sketch or are we looking for Rachel's?
You're looking for the recording. I'm looking for the sketch.
I'll just be slowly zooming in on the sketch when I'm editing this with,
yeah,
with a song playing.
with
that song playing. What's it called? You said Opus 1?
Opus 1. It's
okay.
You could just look up classic hold music.
All right, I'll put that on right now.
Ding 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 ding. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Oh my God. This is a professional show, and you love listening to the professional show.
I'm going to play that song all the way through right now.
It's fucking
I'm not cutting any
Mike.
of this.
It's Mike something, dude. Anyway, they find the guy, and
I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, because they have the side by sides, but they're not like saying his name. And police bring him in and question him. He was notorious, had done jail time.
Really?
For burglary. He would do breaking B&E like around that area. He had gone to jail for it. Never killed anybody, but he would come in with a gun and threaten them, steal the shit, and leave. That's all he would do. And they're questioning him. They show him the sketch. He goes, "That's me."
No, I specifically saw that guy kill a shit ton of orcs.
He goes, "Oh shit, that's me." And the detective is like, he goes, "But I didn't kill anybody, right?" And for some reason, the detective's like, I believe him. So they looked up where he was on the day, and he was in jail.
Oh shit!
Sure enough.
But it was when you show the guy, when you show the guy side by side, that they found.
It actually
now
looks like him.
He had been. So they were like, where did Nick find this? You know, like think of this dude. He had been, because he had done so many burglary in town. He had been on TV.
Oh,
his
shit.
Picture, his mugshot had been on TV a lot. So Nick thought, right? If we believe that he did it, he was like, all right, I got to come up with somebody. And I've seen this fucking guy.
Been robbing.
Let me frame someone that,
shit.
Easy target.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found Rachel's recording.
Okay.
But also there's a really, really good joke in there. Because this guy, he looks like a hobbit from one of the old animated Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah. But it's so distinct.
He was part of the Low Riders of Rohan.
Oh, God.
I'm sure there's so many good
Riders of
like
Rohan.
why
Lord of the Rings jokes in there.
Why didn't he just pick something nondescript? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would he go so specific? Maybe because he wanted them to find this person quickly, right? But
yeah, I didn't realize that he picked somebody that already existed.
Whether it was subconscious or conscious, right? It was somebody that he had seen, and when they were like, sketch someone, he's like, tell us what they look like. He just said that. Big bug eyes,
He did go for the lowest hanging fruit. It was like, black guy with a hoodie.
I know.
It's like, that narrows it down.
Right?
All right, so this is the recording that Rachel made once she got suspicious of Nick. So Rachel Watson is Nick's second wife.
Rachel.
Get through this if it was just the lie. I really could. The problem is the Heidi stuff. That's my problem. The problem is I don't 100% believe you. I know it's shocking for you to hear that from me, and it's shocking. Trust me, it's shocking for me to think it.
I don't know what to say. So I didn't actually understand what you were saying. The fact that you're saying it is so indescribably jarring to my soul that I can hardly breathe.
Straight to outrage.
I don't have words, Rach. It is too traumatic, and I don't know what else to tell you.
The fact that you're lying was so easy for you to do in front of me over and over and over makes me think that you could lie about something.
That I could burn my wife.
Yes.
There are 100 things going through my brain.
And you want me to say more?
I wouldn't. We opened this conversation I just came to.
He doesn't say no.
That's it.
Doesn't say yes. But if someone accused you, what would you say?
Yeah, I did it.
Okay.
Just get over and done with it. All right, yeah, fuck it, you got me.
He really does.
Even if you didn't do it.
He really does earn so many points on this.
While
podcast.
she's questioning him, he goes directly
He doesn't say like,
to,
no, oh my God. Like, wouldn't you be like, oh my God, no.
He goes
I don't
straight,
pay my bills.
Straight to being outraged about being accused.
Yes.
So I cannot believe that you would. In that situation, it's so easy to just be like, well, no, I didn't kill my former wife, and we can sit here and talk about it all day. I'll give you all the fucking details. But it says like, oh, I can't believe that you would accuse me of that.
And then he's just like, this is a lot. I think I should go. You think? It's a lot. He just can't deal with shit.
He sucks. Hearing his voice pissed me off.
Yeah.
He sucks. Big
time. Little
Little
weasel.
bitch.
He suddenly realized that he's still recovering from the tragic loss of his wife. There it is.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Send that to me, please.
Feel like I'm about to get my Lexapro refilled.
It's so calming and amazing. All right.
Yeah, try to associate that song with calm and amazing when you're out of your medication and you're freaking the fuck out, Jesse.
Oh, yeah. That's true. That's true.
It's that was on the phone, right? She called him on the phone to confirm?
No.
Or was that in person?
That was in person.
She got put on hold.
I wish. I wish.
Well, it sounded like he was cutting out or something in the recording.
I think she had the phone closer to her. You know, like you don't want to get caught, right? So she has the phone like somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
So you can't really hear him as well. But if you get the recording, you can like raise levels on him or whatever. Where are you, Coop?
So in the conversation, Rachel flat out asks Nick if he's lying about what happened to Heidi. Instead of answering the question, Nick acts hurt and offended. He claims to be shocked that she would suspect that he had something to do with the death of his previous wife. He then cuts the conversation short and walks away. Unsurprisingly, Rachel and Nick divorced in 2018.
Oh, gosh. Such a bright
too bad
future,
for her.
Huh?
She really,
I feel like they could have worked that out.
There.
She's still alive, though.
I know. Run, girl.
Oh, yeah. I mean, good for her.
Yeah.
Having sufficiently debunked Nick's account of the events, police arrested him in 2021 and charged him with the murder of Heidi Firkus. And again, this is a really recent case, so the details of everything in between are kind of hard to come by. Me personally, I'm waiting for NPR to do something about it so I can get all the details. I don't have money for fucking journalists to go all over the country and interview people. So he was arrested in 2021 and charged with the murder of Heidi Firkus. Unlike many cases of murder involving financial issues, life insurance wasn't an instigating factor in Heidi's death. And so at first I was questioning whether or not he was guilty. And then once I read about more evidence, I was thinking
evidence that proves it? What's the evidence
that
thing.
Proves it? They have circumstantial evidence, really, because they don't have life insurance. They don't have a smoking gun, if you will. It's really just a lot of things, piling on each other, all circumstantial, right? And the prosecutors were like, I don't know. They have Rachel's recording, but they can't. They found that inadmissible. Also, the sketch, they found that was...
Does that guy have a twin brother or something? The guy that was in jail on the day that happened, maybe he's got a twin brother or something.
There is no way in hell that there's two people in the world that look like
that look like this motherfucker.
I still don't believe that there's one person in the world that looks like that.
So the only thing they had was... Whoa. You fuck.
The only thing they had was their phone not on silent.
Yeah. Because I'm playing shit from here, bro. Yeah, so the only thing that they had was they were like, he just did it out of embarrassment. He couldn't, they were like, he's just such a fucking weasel, and he had a pattern, and the 911 calls were very weird. So they played those. They also showed the entryway, super small. There's a tiny table next to the door with like lots of things on it, candlesticks, like a little glass statue, whatever, papers.
Nothing got knocked over.
Nothing was knocked over. The receipt wasn't even like blown away. You know what I mean? There was no, and it is small enough that
as we all know, St. Paul is called the Windy City.
Right. What? Brotherly Big Apple.
Big Apple, that's what
Orange.
it is. Sorry, I think I mixed it
Garden,
up with
the garden.
San Diego. No, San Diego was
the
Orange
garden
County.
the windy garden apple.
Brotherly
the
Love.
big windy garden apple.
Auschwitz.
There it is.
That's
yeah.
When the police went through and did their investigation, they found zero physical evidence. All physical evidence, like even on the shotgun itself, no fingerprints aside from Nick's fingerprints.
But wouldn't you have found
no sign of a struggle?
They said they said the intruder was wearing gloves. So, look, you can find, he's obviously appealing, but like you could find evidence or you could go either way. His friends are fully on his side, right? His friends and family are like, there's no fucking way.
He's a weasel, but he didn't kill somebody.
Right.
Yeah. Even a
they
friendly
also had the
non-life or death struggle has, I mean, the three of us obviously know this from our dirtbag past, but even a non-life or death struggle ends up with a big mess around it. Joel, I specifically remember a time that I had my bedroom door broken open by just some random drunk guy.
Was that me?
No, not you.
Oh.
Not you. The guy that you...
Could have been.
The
guy
you got in the fight with.
Oh.
It hadn't even turned into a fight at that point, and he just happened to fall through my bedroom door. Like, if there's a stand right by the, like...
That's true.
The table right by the door with the keys and everything like that. How the hell do you get in a life or death fight with someone right next to all this stuff and not leave any evidence of it? Nothing's knocked over. The only evidence that anything happened is your dead wife in the kitchen.
Right.
It really, overall, just doesn't...
And the angle and all of that. The defense was really leaning on this 65 seconds in between the calls, saying that whatever you're saying he did and, shot her, shot himself, whatever, like he doesn't have enough time to do it because we're looking at her 911 call, 65 seconds later, his 911 call. So within that time, the prosecutors have to show that he could do
all these things.
And they ended up doing a reenactment in the courtroom showing that like plenty of time. Like if we sat here for 65 seconds.
It's a long time.
Let's do it. No, press.
We already did it.
Ding,
We did
ding,
it
ding,
first.
ding, ding.
Yeah, put the whole
just
music
put on
back
it
on.
like when you hear it, you go, "Oh my God, that's no time." When you're sitting there and a jury is sitting there, it's a long time. It's a long time. And
Another
you go,
thing that does kind of give me pause. 65 seconds is a long time to just sit and wait and do nothing. Imagine spending that time. So you just shot your wife in the back, and then how much time is it going to take you to work yourself up to the point where you're going to stick a shotgun up to your leg and pull the trigger? It would take me at least like 2 minutes minimum.
Because he's a weasel, maybe it was all an accident. He was all stressed out because she's about to find out everything. He did think there was someone coming, and he's such a puss. He sent her first. When he got the gun, he was so scared. He accidentally shoots her. He was like, "Oh my God!" and then accidentally shoots himself in the fucking foot.
all theories on the table, but in this case, it really just comes up of like who was the best, like who presented the best story because they didn't have evidence, right?
Yeah.
Except for.
But he got guilty.
The pattern, and then the pattern that he was doing again with Rachel. The 65 seconds, which was plenty of time as they showed for him to shoot her, turn her over, I think.
Yeah,
is what they said.
She
And
was
then
shot in
go
the
back
back, and then
to
she was found laying on her back.
walk back and shoot himself.
So he could have turned the body over after he had shot himself in the leg. That would make it a little
Could have, but then
bit
that
harder.
gives him a lot more time
Yeah.
to do what he did, right? Shoot her, shoot his leg, whatever. So what they were saying is that he, told her to go down. She's on the phone, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" You're on the phone with 911. Shot her. Then went to the door, unlocked it, or they actually found that it was pulled open, so he slammed the door open, right?
Yeah,
and
there were
then
marks
shot himself.
some marks that show forced entry, but not necessarily the kind of marks that you'd see in most situations when it comes to forced entry. Like the door jamb wasn't broken or anything like that. It was almost like, you ever force open a bedroom door, it doesn't break the door jamb, it just kind of pushes the latch out of the way, and there's scrapes. Aside from that, there really wasn't anything.
Right. Nick Firkus and his lawyer stuck with his initial story of the wide-eyed refugee from the ghettos of the Shire.
Yes.
Forcing their way into his home. Jurors didn't believe his story, and in May of 2021, Nick was found guilty of both first and second-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without a possibility of parole. It is believed that the hoodie-wearing hobbit responsible for the murder escaped to Mordor and is now living under their new name. What is it? Schmeagol.
Okay, how is it that the three of us have been friends for so long and
she has no idea what any of
I don't know what any of that is.
How do you hang out with two nerds like us? It's got to be infuriating.
I mean, because you're undercover nerds.
We do tone it down a little bit when we're around Jesse.
When we get on a Lord of the Rings rabbit hole, you just notice that she's always gone. By the time we're done, we're like, "Oh, where'd Jesse go?"
I've never, and I shut that shit
leaves.
down pretty quickly. I don't know if you noticed.
You do a really
Even
good
on
job
my
of
show.
that.
I'm like, nah,
No, not going there.
We're not doing the nerd shit today.
I mean, outside
and I'm
of
sure it's a great film.
Outside of slurs against Asians, I think the second most common thing that you say is "Shut up, nerds."
Yeah. I'm a bully and I shove nerds, dude.
Then number three is you talk with your fists.
So yeah, obviously he's appealing, right? Because no physical evidence. And also they're just like, he was embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough evidence. I think he did it, but
yeah. So again, this is like a classic where we're like, yes, do we believe he did it? Sure. Do we want the justice system to work in a little bit different way? Yeah.
Hell no, because I'd be in prison. Are we not on the same page with that?
Clearly no physical evidence of your crimes.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. If there's no one thing that they can point to being like, yes, then there has to be the way that there wasn't reasonable doubt is insane. It's kind of insane, right?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's a unique case in the sense that really the only evidence that he was convicted on, like you were saying, is circumstantial. It's really strong circumstantial evidence, though. I mean, no signs, very little signs of forced entry. His story of how the struggle happened doesn't really make all that much sense. I don't know how many life or death fights Heidi had been around, but I imagine she would be a little bit more panicked than that if she was. I mean, you're literally watching your spouse fight over a weapon with a random home intruder. I would think that there would be a little bit more hysterics there coming from somebody working in finance. If she was
There's obviously more going on, but if you can't prove it, then maybe circumstantial murder, you should get 10 lashes in public square, and then they let you go.
Or look, do we
And then
think
you walk
he
down
should be
washout
in
lane.
jail at the very least for sending his wife down the stairs first?
Yeah, he should be
Do
punished.
you know what I
for that.
mean?
Yeah.
And just all around being a little weasel, right?
Yeah, he should be punished for that.
And it's also a classic. These ones I love where the wife is fucking brutally murdered. Heads cut off. Right?
Yeah.
Her blood everywhere. And you get,
Yeah,
and they cut me too. Right? And
Yeah.
it's so those kinds of cases, you're just like, really, dude? Really? Your wife is fucking shot dead. Boom. Clean.
Yeah.
And you have a grazed, like you said, not even a straight through the femur or anything, a flesh wound.
Yeah,
you know?
I really, really would love to see how that worked because
at the very least,
it's a big shotgun.
Yeah,
and
if it ain't sawed off, those barrels are long as shit.
Yeah,
at
well,
the very
regardless,
least, you should be in
as far
jail.
as I know, like either it had to have been like a 20 gauge shotgun because a 12 gauge should have taken a giant chunk out of his thigh.
Yeah,
and it's like if you got a really exceptionally big cyst removed.
It looked like a replica. Like it looked a little janky, the gun.
And the gun itself, a little. Yeah, a little small.
Yeah, like it didn't.
I mean, decent sized.
Sure,
if
but
you know what you're doing with it, you can get the job done.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's another one of the things that I'm curious about with this case. How the hell did he? Even if somebody else shot him, how did he only end up with that wound? Something that they could just pack with gauze and send him home 3 hours later?
9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, whatever. Like, when this kind of situation happens where the husband somehow, him and the wife are in the same situation, intruder comes in, somehow he allowed his wife to get fucking brutally, right? And he's not tied up or anything, but this happens, and then he gets a little fucking wound, and the person leaves the man there to live and tell the fucking story, right?
Sure.
Leave the woman, right? If anything. No one's going to believe her.
Nothing but trouble from my experience.
No one's going to believe her,
Again, everything is circumstantial evidence, but it is fairly strong circumstantial evidence. When following the process through from the way that he described it, the general geography of the situation doesn't make any sense. So if he started struggling with the guy as soon as he came through the door, so his wife's in front of him, he starts struggling with the guy as soon as he came through the door, which the front door is very close to the bottom of the steps coming down from upstairs. The gun should have been facing out the door, but very quickly after the struggle started, it turned completely around and hit Heidi in the back, and then went like another 30 degrees and then down to get him in the leg. And then whoever it was that broke into the house,
strong little
just
hobbit.
Suddenly runs away. Hobbits are exceptionally strong.
Yeah.
Hobbits and halflings. Well, if you're going by D&D rules, halflings
Shut
can
the
be
fuck
very strong.
up.
Sorry, see, that's why we have Jesse on the show, to keep us in line. The overall geography just doesn't make sense. And like you were saying earlier also, if everything that he says is true, the fact that he sent his wife down the stairs first, throw him in prison. It doesn't matter if he's
I don't
or not.
like
Fuck
you.
that guy. Get him off the streets.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
Go to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe an owl did it.
Life in prison.
Life in prison, yeah. Okay.
Life in prison. I don't like you. You're weird, weasel looking. You send your little wife down first. I don't buy it. I don't like you. And if he was free, how many fucking times? I mean, he still wouldn't pay a fucking bill, would he? I mean, I just don't think he can live in the world. He can rent, maybe, but he'd get evicted constantly.
He obviously can't even handle renting.
That's what I mean.
Paying a mortgage is the same as paying a rent. You just pay the money every single fucking month.
Right.
And he couldn't even handle that.
Right.
I'm just glad Rachel lived. Good for Rachel.
Good for Rachel.
Yeah, God bless her.
Right? They didn't let her testify either, which is fuck you.
Oh, well, God, fucking, she's just going to go
But by the way, I know, by the way, it would be scorned ex-wife is all they would think. It probably would have hurt.
And he left his wet towels laying all over the bathroom.
And they're
never
like,
put the toilet seat down.
So put him in jail.
So he's in jail right now, waiting for...
He's appealing, and we'll see. And again, I think he has a good chance, like I said, because there is no evidence.
But while he's in jail, if he's a little bitch, he's probably in some trouble in there.
He's a little bitch.
Yeah, he's going to get his ass kicked.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not going to get his cheeks clapped, though.
You don't think so?
Yeah, he's not pretty enough. In my opinion.
Oh, no. You'll show him.
Is he ugly?
Gosh, I mean, yeah.
Dude, show him.
Yeah.
Show, especially with both of his wives were attractive.
The sketch is more attractive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Than him. He's got a weird flat head. They fucking laid him on his
Yeah, if you see any of the wedding pictures of him and Rachel, it's like, okay, to be honest, it's like
She's
me
hot.
standing next to any of the girls that I date. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right, she's hot. But, you know, we don't like him, so now he's getting prolapsed and fucking in prison.